Good evening, members of the Budget Committee, school board employees, and community members. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I'm here on behalf of a school system that holds a special place in my heart. As a lifelong member of this community and a product of the school system, I returned back to this community as a teacher because of the impact it had on me. Tonight, I'm here to advocate for our school system and our students and shed light on the need for funding. Not for one specific group of people, but for the school district and the community. Let me start by acknowledging that change is hard for a number of reasons. I know that our community is going through some changes right now that challenge what feels comfortable, what we can control. However, we are only here to ask that you strongly consider how choosing to fund education will help with what the community currently sees as a problem. The changes that you are wanting to make as a result reflect a lack of knowledge of how school funding works. I understand that you're opposed to the school system's request for increased funding, instead proposing a decrease in funding of certain programs. Imagine that we spend less as a community now on education. I can assure you that based on research, we will end up spending more in the long run because education is a pillar of the community's foundation, and the funding of said school system should be seen as an investment. I'd like to share with you some staggering information that will hopefully give you some idea of what could happen if we do not agree upon the school system's proposed budget. Theodore Schultz was an economic pioneer whose ideas were pivotal in changing the perception of public education, even winning a Nobel Prize for his belief that investing in the minds of goods and service producers held economic worth for the larger community. This belief then became the cornerstone for what researchers William Owings and Leslie Kaplan considered, proposing that investment in education is a significant contributor to a society's economic development. So let's take education funding out of the picture for a minute and consider the community. Do you, as community stakeholders, want to increase economic development in our area? If so, then we need to invest in the people who are here to build the community. Studies consistently show that increasing educational output in a community increases the quality of life. So we need to invest in new members of our community. Increasing their education will show them that it will increase their quality of life. And once they're able to see that there's a correlation between education and quality of life, they will be more invested in their education. The school district is proposing an increase in funding to do just that, but you, the Budget Committee, are seeking to cut the two programs, dropout prevention and after-school homework help programs, that will help the school system accomplish just that. These programs that you want to cut are not only serving the population that you're trying to force out of our community. They're serving students that have been here. Are you willing to sacrifice programs that have been for many years serving students already in our community? In an article published by ed100.org, people with higher education tend to earn more money. This study specifically showed that the median after-tax income of someone with less than a high school diploma or a high school dropout was only $29,000 in 2021, whereas having a high school diploma increased their after-tax income to roughly $35,000. When communities support education as an investment, not only are local school systems able to provide a better education, but they're also able to build support for higher education, which then only increases the investment back to the community. Another thing that I urge you to consider before voting against increased funding. School systems are charged with educating all students, including your own children. What message are we sending other families that currently live here who may have students that require additional services? What message are we sending families who want to move here? Let me remind you once again that education directly impacts our economy. Please consider the impact that your vote will have on the support of our local businesses and therefore our economy. I want to end with another powerful quote by authors Owings and Kaplan, who said, "More than any other social investment, education raises the standard of living by increasing employability, income level, increasing access to health care and recreational activities, and boosting voting and charitable contributions, which then increases a community's tax revenue." In closing, I want to thank you for your time and consideration. I appreciate the work that you do on behalf of our community. And I urge you once again to consider the school district's proposal for funding and vote in favor of the funding increase. Thank you.